Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. As promised, I am doing 2 uploads today because I missed out on an upload both the last 2 days, so there's a double upload today and a double upload of Road to Rank tomorrow. If you haven't seen the first episode from today, I highly recommend it. It was a really fun one, and we got some pretty exciting games in. So I'm still just learning with the team as I go along, and it's been definitely a fun ride so far, so hopefully we can keep up the work. And we're going to find our first opponent right away from Italy, rocking a pretty cool team. I'm really excited to go up against this one. We do have 3 of the 6 named Pokemon, and part of the reason why I built this team was because it kind of incorporates a lot of the current metagame trends, which is why you see a lot of the Pokemon that you do. So my opponent is rocking a team of Mandibuzzin, Metagross, Garchomp, Alolan, Raichu, Arcanine, and Tapu Fini. So a couple of things stick out here. First of all, Mandibuzzin is definitely a Pokemon that we've seen a little bit more of. It's super bulky and can really give Porygon 2 some issues because it can just snarl and taunt. I believe it gets access to Snarl. It also has like Whirlwind, should it choose to carry that, and it's typically built with like a Citrus Berry. Everything else relatively standard. It's kind of interesting to see Raichu here without either Tapu Fini or, sorry, I meant Tapu Lele or Tapu Koko. And something you do have to be careful of when you go against Alolan Raichu is that it does have the potential to Encore. So I am a little bit worried about that. Muk is really good against Raichu, Metagross, and Fini, but it has to avoid Garchomp because it can Earthquake, and Arcanine can also burn it. So as always, I kind of need to figure out what to lead with, and that's always a little bit tricky. Ninetales is tempting solely because it can shut down Garchomp and Mandibuzzin, but I anticipate my opponent leading stuff to counter it. You know, something I could do though is Ninetales plus Muk, because what that does is the only thing that really threatens Muk is the Garchomp, and Ninetales covers that. So I'm running out of time to pick. I think I'm going to go Ninetales Muk. Definitely want Garchomp in the back, and for the last one, I think I'm going to go with my Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini is pretty bulky. It can take hits and can also Muddy Water / Moonblast and can Calm Mind. Maybe I should have brought Porygon 2 because it actually would have been pretty good offensively, and Porygon 2 did a lot of work in the first episode in today's episode. First games in today's episode, or first episode. Mixing up my words there, but yeah, we're gonna get into the first game, and if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like on the video. It would really mean a lot to me. So Ninetales and Muk is gonna come out, so I have Blizzard Pressure immediately. It's gonna be Mandibuzzin and Fini. This is actually pretty solid for me, I would say. Mandibuzzin, of course, can Tailwind. Now, with Ninetales, I can either set up an Aurora Veil or go for a Blizzard immediately. I'm leaning more towards Aurora Veil, though. I feel like it's likely my opponent might switch out one, maybe even both, but you can't really switch in Garchomp. Oh, and we actually see the Misty Seed. So it does have a Misty Seed instead of something like a Citrus Berry. I don't see that too often. That's cool. Yeah, I'm actually going to go for the Aurora Veil this time around because I really want to utilize Muk well here. I'm going to go for the Poison Jab onto Fini. Mandibuzzin doesn't have much offensive pressure right now, but Fini does make the good switch out. So I think it might be Arcanine coming in, and it is Arcanine. It's okay with me, I think. I'll be able to increase my team's bulk through Aurora Veil, and I'm definitely going to... Like, Muk is a really nice Pokemon to deal against Tapu Fini. That's part of the reason why I incorporated onto this team. And this next one, I'm probably going to want to switch my Ninetales out into my Tapu Fini, because that has pretty good pressure against both of my opponent's Pokemon. We do see the Tailwind come out from Mandibuzzin. Now, that's not too much of a concern, because I'm normally slower with my Pokemon anyway, so not the end of the world. I'm going to get a -1 Poison Jab against Arcanine. Won't do too much damage, but still chunks it for a decent amount. Like, Poison Jab plus Hail, any damage is good, especially against Arcanine, because Muddy Water, I'm not using like a Choice Specs Tapu Fini, so getting damage onto it is important at any point. So he can't burn me at this point. I could switch into my Garchomp. I could double switch here as well. That's kind of tempting. Now, I am worried that this Mandibuzzin is like a physically oriented one. I could double protect here, but that means he could get a free switch into something like a Metagross, because those Mandibuzzin really want to stay in right now. It does have the boost. I'd like to switch out into Garchomp, I think. But I want to waste Tailwind too, because then Garchomp will outspeed his team. So I will just go for the double protect play to see if he switches out. You could see a Garchomp switch in right now. No, he actually protects Arcanine. So that's also good information. I was wondering whether that Arcanine was choice banded or not, because we have seen some banned Arcanines run around with like Close Combat, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, and Extreme Speed. So I waste the turn of Tailwind here for free, basically. And he just foul plays into the Ninetales, which I'm okay with. Switch in there could have been scary. I think, yeah, this next turn, I'm going to switch my... I want to conserve this Ninetales, so I'm going to switch it out into... Do I want to conserve it? What does he have in the back? mainly for the Garchomp. So I'm going to switch into Tapu Fini right now, which can take the attacks relatively well. And I'm going to go for a... get some damage onto Mandibuzzin with a Poison Jab. If he doesn't stay or switch out with either Pokemon, then I should be able to stall out Tailwind relatively easily. Muk being at -1 is kind of a nuisance, but it's not the end of the world. And unless Arcanine has Wild Charge, he won't be able to do very much damage to this Tapu Fini at all. So, Fini, a really good defensive Pokemon. This one is obviously a mix of defense and offense with Calm Mind. He just goes for a Snarl. Okay, so I'm okay with this. It's a little bit annoying because decreasing special attack is very annoying when you have Tapu Fini. Because it already doesn't hit for very hard, and that's why Snarl, does put in some work against it. But overall, I mean, I would say this turn is more positive. He's going to just foul play Muk, so I'm not taking any damage right now, especially with the Aurora Veil that I was able to set up. And we'll be able to get a -1 Poison Jab. Not going to do very much damage against Mandibuzzin at all, but more importantly, I'm stalling out his Tailwind, and I'll take that. So now the question is whether I want to start Calm Mind or not, because I actually really could, and sure, I'm going to be at minus special attack, but the more important thing is the special defense boost. Special attacks are obviously really important as well, but if I get special defense boost, it means his Tapu Fini has a kind of tougher time. Let's see. So I'm at -1. My stats are all pretty low right now. I think I will Calm Mind here, though. Is there anything like once... Like, the only time that you're really scared of Calm Minding with Fini is if there's anything that can come in and just one-shot it, but nothing really can on my opponent's team. I mean, there's a Raichu, but that's not too much of a concern. The other thing is he could have Taunt with Mandibuzz. So maybe I'll just attack here, actually. Try to eliminate Arcanine to make my job with the, my Ninetales a little bit easier. So I'm just gonna Muddy Water and knock off. He'll probably Snarl again, maybe Protect. Switches out, that's fine. Because I'm actually getting rid of whatever's coming in's item. It's gonna be Garchomp. Okay. That's probably going to be the Z move though, so that's a little bit of a concern. Now he does go for Taunt, which is why, yeah, I didn't want to go for the Moonblast. Or sorry, the Calm Mind, because I figured he might have wanted to Taunt to me there. So get the Muddy Water off. Minimal damage. Accuracy drop on Garchomp, that's actually pretty big. Knock off, let's see how much this does. Not very much, and that's, yeah, Z move Garchomp. Okay. So he's in a prime position to go for a Tailwind with Mandibuzz and just go for the Z move with Garchomp. Yeah, so Tailwind peters out. Now, my Muk, he doesn't do very much damage with against it. We know all 4 of the Pokemon. There's no Metagross or Raichu, which I'm glad because those are more offensive Pokemon. I think I'll just Moonblast into Garchomp here and Protect with Muk. Because with the hail damage, that should actually activate my Figi Berry. He might go for the Z move, I'm fine with that. I want to eliminate Garchomp right now, just because it threatens Muk. Maybe switching out Muk into... Like, I don't want to switch in my Chomp, though. Because my Garchomp is a pretty big offensive asset against Arcanine, which it just one-shots with the Z move, and Tapu Fini, I have Poison Jab as well. So, he'll probably set up another Tailwind, but Mandibuzz isn't that much of a concern right now, because offensively, we've seen that it doesn't do too much. Especially against Tapu Fini, like, it does nothing against Fini. So he does go for the Z move here with Chomp, that was to be expected. I should be able to survive this, and it should heal me back to around 50% with my Muk, but he could have targeted Tapu Fini as well. I should be able to survive that with Fini, though, so let's see. It's going to be the Tectonic Rage coming out from the Garchomp. And so many Garchomps nowadays are Z moves. He actually does smartly target the Fini. I think I should survive this, but let's see. I really hope I survive it. Fainting here would be quite bad. Yeah, nice. Hang on with a good amount, actually. Get the -1 Moonblast off. Don't think this will knock him out. Oh, it actually does. Cool. So that's really nice. I got rid of the biggest threat to my Muk. And he's going to set up another Tailwind. Fine with me. Figi Berry will activate now on Muk, and I'll be able to heal back fully. And, oh, actually, Hail ends. I didn't count my Hail turns there, so I'm not going to get the Figi Berry to proc there, which is a little bit obnoxious, but that's okay. Aurora Veil does... I forgot about Aurora Veil, too, in doing the damage calcs, but it still knocks out Muk, so I don't mind going for the Protect there. It was a pretty obvious move, but I knew Fini should be able to survive. So my opponent's going to bring in his Tapu Fini. Fine by me. Let's see, Muk protected last turn. My goal should be to stall out Tailwind right now, because once Tailwind goes out, Garchomp and Arcanine should be able to clean up the game, although Mandibuzzin is still sitting at +1. Muk should be able to survive a Muddy Water and heal back with Figi Berry. He could also just Moonblast. That's okay with me. This is where I wish like I kind of had a Steel type, but alas, that's fine. I'm more worried about Feeny because it's an offensive threat, so I'm going to target that. So I'm going to double up onto it with a Moonblast and a Poison Jab. I might lose one Pokemon here, but I don't think both faint. And he does go for a Moonblast. Let's see whether he targets my Feeny or my Muk. Going to target Muk. I think I can survive this. Nice. So this is why Figgy Berry is so good on Muk. Like, I literally heal back all the damage that he did this turn. He goes for Roost with Mandibuzz. So we've seen Roost, Tailwind, Taunt, and Foul Play. So we know it's full moveset. So it does no damage against Feeny. So I can also consider that for my late game. A special attack drop here with Moonblast would be really nice. Could basically seal me up the game. We don't get it, unfortunately, but that's fine. I'm at -1 with both of my Pokemon, so my damage output right now is not the greatest. But Poison Jab still does a comfortable amount there. And my Tapu Fini is healing back slowly but surely as well, which is quite nice. And my Taunt wears off, so now I can Protect as well. And or Calm Mind. So here I actually most definitely will just go for the double Protect just to heal back more. Yeah, because he might predict the Protect and Moonblast one of the slots. And I know that this Feeny should be choice specs based off that damage output, so I can really utilize that to my advantage as well. Now, one thing you have to be worried about is Mandibuzz setting up a potential third Tailwind in this game, so I kind of want to deny that if possible. Yeah, he actually did Moonblast into my Feeny slot, expecting the Protect and Foul Play into Feeny. Smart double up. I just went there for Leftovers Recovery just to heal back. Okay, let's see. So Mandibuzz with Roost is actually quite annoying because knocking it out is very difficult. Let's see. So we know he has Moonblast and Foul Play. I think my Feeny is honestly more important than my Ninetales. He might not even be able to knock out Muk. I do want to Calm Mind here, actually. I'm going to Calm Mind because I think he's going to want to double up onto Muk, and I will Poison Jab into Tapu Fini. Yep, just Moonblast coming out. He can't Protect with either Pokemon right now, we know that much. Let's see if I can survive this one. No, he crits! Oh, I think that definitely matters. Probably a Taunt. No, he Foul Plays, actually. Okay. Ah, that crit definitely hurts a little bit. But I will be able to Calm Mind, so I'm at neutral special attack now and +1 special defense, which is good. That's a frustrating crit for sure, but oh well. We shall play around that. He probably doubled up into that slot, so I don't think it actually mattered. I thought maybe I could have survived the combination, but yeah, there's not much point in complaining about that. I'm going to bring in Chomp, because I know he doesn't have Protect on either Pokemon right now, so I can safely double up pretty much into the Feeny slot. The question is whether I want to Tectonic Rage right now. I think I will. I think I'm actually going to Calm Mind. Mandibuzz basically does 0 damage to Feeny. And I will... I could just Poison Jab Feeny, that's the thing. But I'm afraid like he'll switch Mandibuzz out into Arcanine. So I'll go for the Guaranteed Knockout, because this either knocks out Feeny or the Arcanine if it switches in. Feeny switches out. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Especially because I still have Sash here on my Ninetales. And I will be able to get another boost here, most likely. I think what he's setting himself up for is he's going to go for a Tailwind here once again. And that's why I Calm Minded, because I know his damage output won't be that great against my Feeny. And I should be able to stall out Tailwind. And the thing is, his Feeny cannot Protect at this point, because it's obviously choiced. So I can use that to my advantage as well. So here's Tectonic Rage coming out from my Garchomp this time around. That's going to eliminate his Arcanine. And I think it knocks it out even if it's at -1 at full range, which is why like it's such a strong move. And people love using it, especially against Arcanine and Muk. That's exactly why I have it on my team. And I get another Calm Mind up, which is nice. Now we do have to keep in mind that his Mandibuzz is at +1 special defense. But once again, that's not too much of a concern because he doesn't do too much damage. And with Leftovers, I can heal back as well with my Feeny. So now the only question, it will probably come down to can he crit my Feeny? Because if he can't crit me, then I think I will just win the game. And so Feeny is at +1 special attack now and +2 special defense. So it could just knock out his Feeny outright. And his Feeny does come back in. We've got some really good games today. Given the team comp... Do I want to double... Yeah, let's just double Protect here to stall out a turn of Tailwind. I want to see what his Feeny locks himself into as well since he's choiced. He'll probably want to taunt my Feeny. But I think a +1 Moonblast should knock out the Feeny in the range that it's currently at. Since it should be more on the more offensive spectrum anyway. The main question I'm kind of asking myself is, do I want to swap Garchomp out into Ninetales? And I think the answer is no. I'll probably just, you know, double protect this turn. Next turn, attack with both Poison Jab and with Moonblast. And then the following turn, you know, I get the free switch into Ninetales. I can just double protect again. So, yeah, this is a really long game, but I'm feeling okay about it. He does Moonblast into my Feeny slot. And Foul Play into Feeny, probably. Yeah, so he's doubling up onto that. I think he's really hoping for a critical hit at this point. I don't think he'd be able to knock me out without a crit. And I do have Poison Jab still. Miss also disappears. So this turn, what I will do is I'm not going to swap out because I know I have that Focus Sash. So I want to conserve that. I'm just going to Moonblast and I'm going to Poison Jab. I also can't hit Mandibuzz at all with my Garchomp, especially because it has Roost. So I should be able to win the game this turn, barring any crazy RNG, and that RNG is basically a crit, or maybe a special attack drop. He is going to Moonblast, going to target down my Feeny slot. No crit, excellent. And no special attack drop, so that should be game. Tapu Fini is a beast. To be able, like, those Calm Mind boosts helping me out so much. He gets a crit there, but unfortunately the wrong crit. I don't think -1 Poison Jab could knock out Fini in this range, actually. As it does, excellent. So the reason why I doubled up there was because I knew, okay, if my opponent wants to win, he either Moonblast Chomp and Foul Plays. Well, he can't win that way because I just pick up the knockout there. And, yeah, Moonblast still does a ton of damage there. So basically that scenario, the reason why I kept Calm Minding was Feeny because I knew he didn't have very much damage output against it. So Feeny could get all these boosts and it can survive attacks. And with leftovers, it just continues to heal back up. It's not going to just, you know, Foul Play and just protect with Chomp. But, sorry, Moonblast and protect with Chomp. But, yeah, basically the scenario I was setting myself up for there is, okay, I basically played around Mandibuzzin this entire game. And that's one reason why I actually did not want to bring Porygon 2 in this matchup. If Porygon 2, if I brought it, you know, he actually did have that Misty Seed and that special defense increase, so I would have just, it would have been like a sitting duck just kind of waiting around, you know, for stuff to happen. And I can't do too much damage, you can heal back everything, and so it's kind of like a neutral Pokemon that doesn't put on much offensive presence. Meanwhile, by attacking around the Mandibuzz, I knew it didn't have that much pressure damage-wise, so what I can do is consistently target the slot next to it. And by figuring out the item, like for example, knowing Tapu Fini was Specs, that was a big deal as well. Tailwind wasn't too much of a concern because, you know, with Tailwind, you normally really want to be able to take advantage of it and, you know, blow through with offense. For example, with the San Jose team, it was like, okay, I set up a Tailwind, and now my Metagross, my Lele, and my Coco, they can just outspeed everything and really put on a lot of damage. But my opponent's last team, like, it wasn't that offensive, so I could stall out Tailwind relatively easily, despite the fact he set it up multiple times, and I played around it. But for our second opponent of the day, we're going to have a much more hyper-offensive team with Tapu Koko, Tapu Lele, Metagross, so those three Pokemon, you know, Pokemon that I'm pretty familiar with, and then Arcanine, Garchomp, and Araquanid. So, Araquanid's the real scary factor here. Without that Araquanid, I feel very comfortable setting up Trick Room, but because he has Araquanid, it's not nearly that easy. He also most potentially has Roar on Arcanine or Taunt on Tapu Koko. Those are both concerns as well. So let's see what I want to lead with. I actually think Garchomp is a really solid lead here, because the only thing that outspeeds it is his Koko. And who do I want to pair it up with? I don't think I want to go the Trick Room route this game because he's most definitely bringing the Araquanid. So with that, I'm going to go Garchomp. Part of me feels like my Araquanid problem's pretty bad and I need Freeze Dry over Icy Wind on Ninetales. I might reconsider that after playing this. But I like Garchomp and Ninetales as a lead with Muk in the back. Muk is definitely necessary, and I think Feeny. Feeny has really been holding its weight on this team so far, and that's because this team kind of allows for it to take attacks really well. That Aurora Veil, like Aurora Veil, keep on mispronouncing it, is just such a solid move because it allows me to survive attacks that I normally wouldn't be, catches opponents off guard, and you know that was like a pretty important attack to be using in the previous game. So should be counting my tail, and Aurora Veil turns better though. The game even tells you, but I just like keep track of it mentally, sometimes forget. So Ninetales and Garchomp, super hyper offensively. We're gonna go Koko and Metagross for my opponent. Now, this should be good depending on the item of Koko. I'm worried about a Hidden Power Ice coming out right now because that's actually something I ran, and we could potentially see it. So I might actually go for the Icy Wind this time around. He also could just Bullet Punch Thunderbolt Ninetales. That's my other fear. Nope, I like the Icy Wind play here, though. Yep, I'm going to protect Icy Wind turn 1. Be a really impressive read if he doubles up into Ninetales. Okay, Nature's Madness, we'll take that. And I hit with Icy Wind, perfect. So, if we're saying Nature's Madness, I'm thinking he's probably Assault Vest. Nope, he's not Assault Vested, never mind. That Icy Wind did far more. Is he doubling? What the heck? Shattered Psyche. It's so weird seeing that from a Metagross. It's frustrating though, because I could have just Z-moved that slot, and he didn't protect. Does he target in a Chomp though? Because I feel like he would if he's going for the Nature's Madness. Nice. Excellent. That's so good. So I'm not going to take too much damage, especially without Psychic Terrain being up. And oof. Very, very nice. So I'm very happy about that turn. Very happy. Coco's at -1 speed. He's also taken some, like, Icy Wind actually does decent damage because of stab, which is kind of funny, because like most Icy Wind users historically in VGC, they don't have stab. He has nothing to switch into a Tectonic Rage. Metagross will probably want to protect, but I'm still going to go for it. So I'm going to go Tectonic Rage here, and I will go for a Aurora Veil because it's a perfect opportunity to. And it would also mean decreasing Coco's damage output. Coco protects, that's fine. If Metagross doesn't protect, this turn will be even better. Okay, he protects with Metagross, but actually this is perfectly fine because now I can just protect Earthquake the next turn, because the Tectonic Rage should still do around 25 to 30% to Metagross plus hail damage, so now Earthquake should just be able to pick up the double knockout. So this turn played out perfectly. I lose absolutely nothing from it other than the fact I don't get a one-shot, but in fact this might actually play out better for me because the way it works out is that now I could, I threaten both Pokemon with a knockout with Earthquake, and he doesn't really have the greatest of switch-ins either. So, really happy about that as well. Let's see how much this does. I would think like around 30% or so. Maybe even more, because it is super effective. Nice, okay. So, yep, get my Aurora Veil up for free. Have 5 full turns of that. And he takes chip damage from Hail still. Which is very nice. Okay, let's see what's potentially in the back. Now, the thing is, I don't want to Earthquake and just break my Sash. I really want to conserve, like, there's probably a Garchomp in the back. Earthquake Protect is a relatively free play, though, and he doesn't have anything that can really switch into that, so I think I will just go for this. Yeah, he still could have potentially well, actually, Metagross should be going for Bullet Punch if it did have it. Well, he stays in with Bow, too, so that's going to be a free double knockout. And no Bullet Punch comes out, but free Earthquake, and that's super effective against both Coco and Metagross, and I've chipped them enough where this should just knock him out. Phenomenal. Excellent. Very happy about that. This game has played out pretty much perfectly right from the start, and I'm glad I called, like, I'm really glad he didn't double up onto Coco, because, for example, if I were using the Metagross Coco on my old team, I would consider Bullet Punching and Thunderbolting Ninetales, but that's such a risky play, because the Garchomp can just Earthquake you and, one-shot the Coco and do so much. And we see Garchomp come out from my opponent. That's really good because we know Ninetales puts on so much pressure against that, and Lele, so this should just be a win at this point. This team isn't meant to be hyper-offensive, but Ninetales plus Garchomp really was able to put off a lot of pressure here. Because what I'm able to do here is I can go straight for the Blizzard. The only concern is if he's Choice Scarf Chomp, because he could flinch me. But if he's Scarfed, he has to lock himself into attack, and I still have Muk and Feeny in the back. So I will just Poison Jab the Lele and Blizzard. One reason why I don't have a Dragon-type attack on my Garchomp is because of the fact that... Oh, he actually is Scarfed! Oh, don't flinch me. Do not flinch me, please. Okay. That's game. Because if he flinches my Ninetales, then I don't get the Blizzard off, I don't knock out Garchomp, and if he... Like, I still could get a Poison Jab off. Okay, neither flinch. So, my opponent going for what he had to, it would have been scary, because he would have needed a lot of flinches, but he actually could have won the game if he got, like, every flinch. But instead, Blizzard plus Poison Jab just pick up the knockout. So, a very, very fast second game compared to the first one, but Ninetales plus Garchomp really, really put in the work that game. And that, like, this game was kind of won off the first turn. I basically put myself into a position where I know that Coco's damage output is not that great, especially if it's going for Nature Madness turn 1, because that means he probably doesn't have Dazzling Gleam or Hidden Power Ice. So I can use that to my advantage, right? And after I saw that turn 1, it worked out perfectly, because now I can pressure the Metagross slot. Even if he protects, that's perfectly fine. And this is why lead matchups, I've been saying this in VGC, but it's just so important, because if you can manage to get a better lead than your opponent, you're always playing from ahead, so even if your opponent is out-predicting you, or, like, you basically have to go even with your opponent, even if their opponent does make predictions and you, like, walk into protects or whatnot, because you're ahead, you can sometimes afford to do that. Whereas, if you're playing from behind, you have to try to outplay and outmaneuver your opponent constantly, and sometimes that's just really difficult to do because no one can really call every prediction correctly. So, fun episode here for sure. That first game, long and drawn out. That second game kind of just, kind of easy cleaning through the first couple turns, and he didn't have any safe switch into Earthquake. Like, that's why having ground immunity typically is pretty important, or having a way to shut down Garchomp, and he didn't really have too much for my Chomp there. So yeah, really happy about how that one played out, and I think that puts us back into the 1800s, so we'll try to make a run into the 1900s with this team. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Go check out the first episode from today if you've not seen it already. We got some really great games today, so I'm pretty content about that, and there will be a double upload tomorrow as well, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright, peace.